Comparison kills progress. One of the most subtle yet destructive habits we can fall into is comparing ourselves to others. It might seem harmless at first, noticing someone's success, admiring their achievements, or wondering how they got so far. But when comparison becomes a habit, it turns into a silent thief, a thief that steals our joy, our motivation, and ultimately our progress. In the age of social media, comparison has become more rampant than ever. We scroll through perfectly curated photos, highlight reels, and status updates that make others' lives look flawless. What we forget is that we're comparing our behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. We see the destination, but not the journey. We see the victory, but not the setbacks, late nights, and failures that came before it. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you stop focusing on your own growth. Instead of nurturing your skills, refining your goals, or celebrating your progress, you waste energy worrying about what someone else is doing. You feel inadequate, like you're falling behind even when you're moving forward. This mindset kills your momentum because you're no longer running your race, you're trying to run someone else's. Comparison also creates a false sense of urgency and pressure. You may feel like you have to achieve certain milestones by a certain age, or that you're not successful unless you're keeping up with others. But life doesn't work that way. We all have different timelines. Some people peak early, others find their purpose later in life. The beauty of life is that success has no deadline, only the one you set for yourself. Moreover, comparing yourself to others can destroy your confidence. Instead of recognizing your unique strengths, you start to see your weaknesses. Instead of being proud of how far you've come, you obsess over how far someone else seems to be. This leads to frustration, burnout, and self-doubt. And those are the very things that stall progress, not a lack of talent, but a lack of self-belief. The truth is, the only person you should compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. That's where true progress begins. It's not about being better than someone else, it's about being better than your past self. That's a race you can actually win. That's a journey that leads to real, lasting success. So if you want to grow, if you want to achieve great things, and if you want to feel fulfilled, stop looking sideways. Look inward, look forward, and remind yourself every day, your only competition is you. Your only competition is who you were yesterday in a world full of noise, comparison, and constant pressure to keep up with others. One truth stands out as a foundation for personal growth. Your only real competition is who you were yesterday. We often get caught in the race of life, comparing salaries, lifestyles, appearances, and accomplishments. Social media amplifies this pressure, showing us people who seem more successful, more beautiful, or more talented. But here's the problem. This outward comparison leads us away from what actually matters, our own personal growth. When you start treating your past self as your only competitor, your mindset shifts. You're no longer trying to be better than someone else. You're trying to be better than you were before. That's a powerful and freeing perspective. It takes the pressure off keeping up with the world and places the focus on progress step by step, day by day. Think about it. Did you learn something new today that you didn't know yesterday? Did you handle a situation with more patience than you would have a year ago? Did you take even a small step toward your goals? That's progress, and progress is success. This mindset builds self-respect. It makes you more mindful of your own journey and more appreciative of your efforts. It teaches you to track real growth not in likes, followers, or external validation, but in character, discipline, and purpose. When you compete with your past self, setbacks don't feel like failure, they become lessons. You begin to understand that you don't have to be perfect, just consistent. You don't have to leap forward every day. Some days, a small step is more than enough. As long as you're moving forward, you're winning. It also brings a sense of peace. You're no longer chasing someone else's version of success. You're defining your own based on your goals, your pace, and your values. This not only builds confidence, but keeps you grounded in who you truly are. Great athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, and thinkers all understand this truth. They don't wake up every morning trying to outshine everyone else. They wake up asking, How can I be a better version of myself today? That's where greatness begins, not in competition with the world, but in mastery of self. So don't worry if someone else is ahead of you. They're not your race. Don't be discouraged if your growth feels slow. Growth is still growth. What matters most is that today you are becoming a stronger, wiser, more capable version of yourself, because at the end of the day, the only person you need to beat is the person you were yesterday. You control your energy every day. You wake up with a limited amount of energy, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. How you choose to use that energy defines the quality of your day, your mindset, and ultimately your life. That's why it's crucial to understand this simple truth. You control your energy. Life is full of distractions, challenges, and negativity. People will test your patience, situations will try your strength, and the world will attempt to pull your focus in 100 different directions. But here's the key: your response to all of it is a choice. You can't control everything that happens around you, but you can control how you react, where you focus your thoughts, and where you invest your energy. Too often, we waste precious energy worrying about things we can't change: other people's opinions, past mistakes, or future fears. We give our power away to negativity, toxic relationships, and self-doubt. And when we do, we have less energy for the things that truly matter: our goals, our growth, our passions, and our peace. When you become intentional about your energy, everything starts to shift. You begin to guard your time more carefully. You become more aware of who drains you and who uplifts you. You start choosing habits that restore you, like sleep, exercise, gratitude, and positive self-talk, instead of ones that leave you feeling depleted. Controlling your energy also means setting boundaries. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't need to please everyone, agree with everyone, or be everything to everyone. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply walk away, not out of weakness, but because you value your energy and peace. This mindset empowers you to shift from reactive to proactive. Instead of letting life happen to you, you begin to shape your experience through your choices. You ask yourself, does this deserve my attention? Will this help me grow? Is this worth my energy? These simple questions can protect you from wasting hours or even years on things that don't align with your purpose. And when you do invest your energy in the right places: your health, your relationships, your passions, your goals, the results are incredible. You feel more alive, more fulfilled, more focused. You stop feeling like a victim of your circumstances and start feeling like the author of your story. So today and every day, remember this: your energy is your most valuable currency. Spend it wisely, don't give it away cheaply. Protect it like it matters, because it does. When you control your energy, you control your focus. And when you control your focus, you control your life. Self-awareness leads to true success in a world driven by external validation, where success is often measured by money, status, or appearance. One vital truth often gets overlooked: true success begins with self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to understand your own thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and motivations. It means knowing who you are at your core: your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, your purpose, and your patterns. While it may not sound as flashy as chasing big goals or climbing the corporate ladder, self-awareness is the foundation of lasting, meaningful success. Why? Because when you know yourself deeply, you make better decisions. You stop chasing goals that don't belong to you, goals based on someone else's definition of success. Instead, you begin to pursue what matters to you. You build a life based on alignment, not approval. That's when your success starts to feel fulfilling, not just impressive. Self-awareness gives you clarity. It helps you recognize what environments you thrive in, what kind of work energizes you, and what people support your growth. Without that awareness, many people stay stuck in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, or routines that kill their motivation, simply because they've never taken the time to truly understand themselves. It also fosters emotional intelligence. When you're self-aware, you're better equipped to manage your emotions, respond calmly to stress, and understand how your actions affect others. These qualities are key in building strong relationships, leading teams, and creating impact, all of which are critical aspects of real success, whether in business or in life. Importantly, self-awareness keeps you humble and open. You're able to admit when you're wrong, reflect when you fall short, and learn from your experiences. This humility allows for growth because you can't improve what you're not aware of. The most successful people in the world aren't perfect, they're just committed to learning more about themselves every day. Being self-aware also protects you from burnout. It helps you recognize when you need rest, when you're overextending, or when you're acting out of fear instead of passion. It teaches you to say no to what drains you and yes to what fuels you. That's how you build a sustainable path, not just a sprint toward temporary achievement. At the heart of it, self-awareness connects you with your why. And once you're clear on your why, everything else becomes more focused. Your goals become sharper. Your habits become more intentional. And your journey becomes more purposeful. So if you want to achieve real success, not just in your career, but in your relationships, your well-being, and your peace of mind, start by looking inward. Ask yourself who you are, what you value, and what truly fulfills you. Because the better you know yourself, the better you can design a life that actually fits you, and that is where true success begins. Other people's paths are not yours in today's hyper-connected world. It's easier than ever to see what everyone else is doing, their accomplishments, their timelines, their perfect lives. But amid all that noise, we often forget one essential truth: other people's paths are not yours. Each person is walking a road shaped by different experiences, talents, values, and challenges. No two lives are the same, so it makes no sense to measure your progress by someone else's journey. Yet, so many people fall into this trap, believing they're behind because someone else achieved more, earned more, or seemed to figure it out faster. But success is not a race, life is not a checklist, and someone else's path is not your competition, it's just different. You might see someone landing their dream job at 25 while you're still exploring your interests at 30. Someone might get married young while you're learning how to build a loving relationship with yourself first. One person might grow quickly in their career, while another finds their breakthrough after years of quiet work. Both are valid, both are meaningful. The problem is, when we try to follow someone else's path, we lose touch with our own. We ignore our intuition, our unique gifts, and our true desires just to keep up, and that leads to frustration and burnout. What works for them might not work for you. What fulfills them might not fulfill you. That's why your path must be defined by your own truth, not someone else's highlight reel. Understanding that your journey is your own frees you from unnecessary pressure. It gives you permission to go at your own pace. Some seasons are for blooming, others are for planting seeds. Just because your progress isn't loud or visible right now doesn't mean it isn't powerful. Quiet growth is still growth. This mindset also helps you become genuinely happy for others. When you're confident in your own path, someone else's success doesn't feel like a threat, it feels like inspiration. You stop competing and start celebrating because you understand. They're doing what's right for them, and you're doing what's right for you. And perhaps most importantly, trusting your path brings peace. You stop feeling like you're falling behind. You stop needing to explain or justify your timing. You start walking with purpose, knowing you're exactly where you need to be, learning what you need to learn, growing how you need to grow. So let go of the pressure to mimic, copy, or compare. Focus on your own direction. Ask yourself what you want. Define what success means to you, and move forward, even if your path looks different, especially if it does. Because your journey is yours for a reason. Trust it, own it, and walk it with confidence. Peace comes from within in the pursuit of happiness. People often look outward, chasing more money, bigger achievements, perfect relationships, or ideal circumstances. We're taught to believe that peace comes when everything in our life finally falls into place. But the truth is far simpler and more powerful. Peace comes from within. External situations are always changing. One day you're on top of the world, and the next you're hit with unexpected stress, loss, or failure. If your sense of peace depends on things you can't control, like other people's behavior, your bank balance, or public approval, you'll always feel unstable. You'll constantly be on edge, waiting for life to be perfect, so you can finally feel calm. But peace isn't found in perfection. It's found in perspective. When peace comes from within, it's not based on what's happening around you, it's based on how you respond to it. It means you've developed the emotional maturity to stay centered, even when life gets chaotic. It means you trust yourself, accept where you are, and stay grounded in who you are, regardless of your circumstances. This kind of peace comes from self-awareness and acceptance. It starts with knowing your worth, your values, and your boundaries. It grows when you stop trying to control everything and everyone, and instead learn to control your reaction, your energy, and your focus. You stop chasing constant validation because you know you're already enough. You stop running from discomfort because you've learned to sit with it and grow from it. Inner peace also means letting go of what you can't change, whether that's a past mistake, a difficult person, or a missed opportunity. It's about releasing the need to have all the answers and learning to live in the present. That's where peace lives, not in the past or future, but right now in the moment where you choose to breathe, accept, and move forward. When you develop inner peace, the world can't shake you as easily. Stressful days will come, people will disappoint you, goals might be delayed, but your inner world remains steady. It's like having a calm center within you, no matter what storm is raging outside. Ironically, the more peace you find within, the more peace you create around you. Your relationships improve because you're not reactive. Your decisions get wiser because they're not fueled by fear or ego. Your confidence grows because you're not trying to prove anything, you're simply living with intention and balance. So if you want to live a life of calm, fulfillment, and strength, stop looking outside for peace. Look inward, nurture your thoughts, heal what hurts, listen to your inner voice, spend time in silence, practice gratitude, forgive yourself and others, because when you realize that peace is an inside job, you stop chasing it and start living it.